The Los Angeles Kings are the 2012 Stanley Cup champions. Just 3 months after winning the franchise's first Stanley Cup, the Los Angeles Kings had to wait before starting the journey to defend their title.
It's frustrating, I think, when you got word of it, just because everything that goes along with winning the cup, getting the rings, raise the banner, just the excitement of really Los Angeles and hockey.
The work stoppage began in September and lasted nearly 4 months, threatening the 2013 season altogether.
The NHL has canceled another week of games. A total of 135 games have been wiped out so far due to the lockout.
Kind of sunk in once Thanksgiving hit. I don't think I'd ever been not playing hockey on Thanksgiving since I was probably 6 or 7 years old.
Finally ending in January, the Kings immediately focused on trying to defend the cup, something that hadn't been done successfully in 15 years.
No one expected us to do what we did, and this year everyone expected us to be one of the top teams in the league.
I think the Stanley Cup hangover is sometimes quite accurate. When I won the Cup in Carolina, we didn't make the playoffs next year.
The Kings started their 2013 campaign against the Chicago Blackhawks. On a day of celebration, the team lost a leader. With defenseman Willie Mitchell already sidelined for the season, the Kings lost assistant captain Matt Green for nearly the entire season with a back injury.
They're two very underrated players in terms of what they bring to this team, so you're banged up the first day, arguably.
It's not as much on ice, it's what they bring in terms of their leadership and their experience too, which is significant in winning and significant in being a good team.
The loss of 2 veteran defensemen gave an opportunity for young players to step up. Jake Muzzin quickly learned what it meant to be a pro, while Slava Voynov established himself as one of the premier up-and-coming scoring defensemen in the league.
Slava, as the season went on, and right up until the last game of playoffs, you can see him on the ice and how skilled he is, and I guess what the media says all the time, they're coming out party.
Muzzin to Voynov, now to Kopitar, up high to Muzzin. Muzzin shoots, scores!
He has all the skill in the world, and I think he's probably our most skilled defenseman with some of the things he can do with that puck. And when he figures it out to be a consistent player every night, he's going to be an unbelievable defenseman for us.
At the trade deadline, the Kings brought in Robin Regehr to further solidify the defense. As the season progressed, the Kings found an identity at home. During one stretch, Los Angeles won 10 of 11 games at Staples Center, including a memorable hat trick by Jeff Carter. Right, puck taken away. Here's Carter for the hat trick, and he scores! The Hats love the ice at Staples Center.
You know, on free hat night, score a hat trick and see all the hats come out on the ice. It was a pretty cool feeling.
That was awesome. Typical coach response to somebody scoring 3 every time after you should have had 4.
With the best home record in the NHL, the Kings enter the playoffs as the 5 seed. Their first test, a familiar opponent in St. Louis.
Playing St. Louis early, you know, they had a chip on their shoulder because of what we did to them last year.
They got really hot at the end of the year, and they're playing as well as anyone the past probably the last 15-20 games this season.
The first big test of the playoffs came early as the Kings lost their first 2 games in St. Louis.
And the Blues are up 2 games to none.
The Kings battled back, winning the next 4 games to advance. Every game in the series being decided by 1 goal.
That was probably one of the hardest series I've ever been a part of, just with, you know, not much space to work.
I think for someone who really knows the game of hockey and respects the game of hockey would think that was probably one of the best series of the first round for sure, even the whole playoffs.
You know, again, I think we showed a lot of character being down 2-0 and coming home, win the next 4, and you know, jumpstart us for the next series.
Waiting in the Western Conference semifinal, division rival San Jose.
You know, that's a different series. I think when you look at St. Louis, you look at more of a team that plays the full sheet, and then you switch to San Jose as more of a high octane, like to outscore you. Their power play is outstanding, and they got a lot of skill.
The Kings needed every bit of their home ice advantage as the series went 7 games.
Game 7, Kings and San Jose Sharks.
It was my first Game 7, a lot of guys' first Game 7s, and I think we were a confident bunch.
It's us or them, do or die, that brings out the best in players.
Vlasic holding, shooting one, stopped by Quick, rebound, Pavelski rob!
Frankly, we just didn't want to go home yet.
Kings win! The defending Stanley Cup champion Los Angeles Kings have won Game 7.
For the second straight year, the Kings were heading to the conference final. Standing in their way, the President's Trophy winner, Chicago Blackhawks.
I think they're deep. They're a deep team, they're a quick team, they're a skilled team. I will say, though, they're a beatable team.
Chicago took the first 2 games of the series, but the Kings had already come back from that deficit once in the playoffs and were riding a 7-game home winning streak.
I don't really think our team ever panics. I think that's one of our better traits. We knew what we had done in the St. Louis series, how we came back in that, and when you're coming back to LA, that we're really confident with our game at home, and we knew we could do it again.
After a Game 3 victory, Chicago took control of the series, winning Game 4, and had the Kings against the ropes late in Game 5.
Face off in their end with 10 seconds left. 10 seconds left in your season potentially, but championship teams aren't going to go away quietly.
The puck worked out to Voinov. For Kopitar, right wing board, shot, scored! With 9.4 seconds left in regulation, the Kings have tied it up.
Taking it to overtime, we were confident we were still going to win that game, and we dominated those 2 periods.
Trying to step around Muzzin. Hostin's in! Save made by Quick! Pass, Duncan Keith, here's Carter cutting in. Centering pass, and that goes off a skate just wide.
One of the few chances I guess they had in overtime, they made well of it, and probably not the 2 players that we want to have a 2-on-1.
Here's Taves and Kane, 2-on-1, hustling back is going up a shot. Goal! Patrick Kane in overtime!
There's no real words to kind of describe how that feels. We gave it our best shot. We didn't leave anything on the table.
The Kings will once again challenge for the Stanley Cup next season. The core of this team returns young talent, just beginning to show their full potential.
Cores of teams stay together because they win. We want to make sure that all of us are staying here for a long time.
I think some of our guys are coming up on their prime, so we expect more.
Daryl Sutter is creating a culture of winning in Los Angeles. After back-to-back years with deep runs into the playoffs, this team returns with 1 goal.
Expectations for next year is win a Stanley Cup.
Final 4 is not our goal.
As a group, we probably hate losing more than we like winning. Going into next year, I think we'll be extremely hungry to get that winning feeling back.